Welcome to the TUE Brew Review. So before we get into this week's beer, I thought I would talk a little bit about my addiction, something that I thought I had under control for the last year or so. Felt I was in a good place, but here recently started getting some emails from my dealer, followed up by some social media posts. And then wouldn't you know it, I go to the grocery store, and as I leave, there my dealer and her friends, they've got a whole table set up peddling their wares. And once again, I gave in and bought several boxes of Girl Scout cookies. So I thought we would spend the next several TBR sessions pairing different Girl Scout cookies with different styles of beer. And we are going to start with the original Girl Scout cookie. This is the Trefoil. This is the shortbread cookie. Looks like this. I'm sure many of you have experienced it. This is your classic shortbread cookie, kind of sweet, biscuity, buttery. It's got some nice density to it because I believe it's an unleavened cookie. It doesn't use baking powder, baking soda, so you get a nice, nice dense cookie. And we are going to pair that up with an English style beer. I've selected this English bitter. This is actually made here in the States. This is made by Tighthead Brewing out of Mundelein, but this is an English style mild. I think pairing with a shortbread cookie, anything that's more approachable and malt forward, I would include all of the bitters, the English milds, the American brown ales, amber ales, maybe even an American wheat, but something that's got a decent amount of malts, low amounts of hops, and very sessionable. And I think this beer will fit the bill nicely. So let's give this a quick look before we tear into it. There's, of course, the Independent Craft Brewer logo. This is a 16-ounce can, 4.4% ABV. These types of English session beers, of course, are lower in alcoholic strength. And we've got IBUs of 32. That's the International Bittering Unit, 100-point scale. So it's on the lower third of the IBU scale, as it should be. This is more of a malt-forward beer. And the SRM of 10. That's the color gauge. And something in the lower end, say 10, is probably going to be kind of an amber or copper color. So let's go ahead and tear into this. And there's that color I just spoke of. Actually, maybe just a tad bit lighter than I thought it would be, but very, very light beige color. It's got a nice, a rich, foamy head retention. Oh yeah, getting some combination of the good sweet and nutty malt grain bill. A lot of the grains used in these types of beers are called Maris Otter, which is a classic English ale malt. And I'm also getting a nice little hoppiness from the Kent Goldings or Fuggles, which are both English style hops. Tend to be more herbal, maybe a little bit flowery, definitely not citrusy. Great, mild, malty, a little bit sweet, a little bit nutty flavor, just enough hops to take off a little bit of the edge of the sweetness. Low amounts of carbonation. These beers are normally served in cask where they're naturally carbonated. So a lot of times these beers, even if they're forced carbonated with CO2, will have a very creamy mouthfeel. In the second taste, I'm getting a little bit more of kind of the yeast character and also a little bit more of the hop bite in the finish, just to clean it up a little bit. But everything's in balance. Nothing is too assertive. And now let me pair it up with the shortbread cookie. Man, I really like how these flavors marry. Again, there's just enough hops in here that takes a little bit of the sweetness of the shortbread cookie away. When I first ate the shortbread cookie, very sweet, but this helps cut through it a little bit. But it also brings out some of the malty flavor and also the buttery character. After drinking this and eating this, I'm getting more of the buttery flavors. So this is a classic example of when you're pairing food and drink, that when you put them together like this, the summation of the two coming together is actually better than each of them individually. Both of these are good on their own, but this is a dynamite pairing. So I'd strongly recommend, if you're getting the Trefoils, definitely get some type of English mild ale to pair with it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with the results. So that's it for this go around. As I said, we'll be doing several more of these Girl Scout cookie and beer pairings. But for this one, we're pairing up Trefoil's shortbread cookies with Tubes English mild ale from Tighthead Brewing. Cheers.